This is a short screencast about log video. So I've been messing around with Samsung's log video recently and I've got a couple of clips to show. These were captured on an S24 Ultra after the latest One UI update, which gives log video. So what I've got here are a couple of clips. These are very basic, not the most beautiful bit of cinematography, but they illustrate the point. This one is captured using straightforward video. So this is exactly what you'd expect in the camera's default settings. Captured at 4K, I've done a little bit of the pan and you can just see something of the colors. I tried to pick a scene which had a lot of bright colors in it and a lot of very bright light, so there'd be some overexposure and we could look at the difference between the two. What I've got alongside this is this bit of video, which is the same thing captured with log video. And instantly, if I flick backwards and forwards between the two, you can see that there is a difference between them in terms of their color. Now, the other thing I notice is that rather incorrectly, this has got a LUT applied to it already. So I'm just going to take the LUT off. Great. This is what that bit of video looks like as it comes out of the camera. Now the LUT or lookup table is the thing that's used to translate this from being rather grey looking log video into more colourful or properly saturated or properly exposed video. And to do that, I right click it and I'm just going to, actually no I don't, I'm going to go into the colour selector and in here I'm going to select the node, right click the node, LUT, and the LUT I'm going to use is the Samsung LUT that converts Samsung log video to Rec 709, at which point the video is looking a lot nicer. Now these two are fairly comparable, and what I thought I would do is flick between the two and expose some facets of these videos, which is what I've noticed about how these things are recorded. To do this I thought I would set up a couple of little tests. One is where the two videos sit absolutely next to one another. So what I'll do is I'll just resize these so they're the exact same size. Here on top we've got the default video, which is captured using a normal spectrum, and then a log video underneath it. I'm going to scale both of these massively, so 8 times normal size, and I'm going to crop the top video so that we're only looking at one part of it. Which means that on the left of the screen is the original video and on the right of the screen is the log video. Now that isn't overly clear what's going on, but what it does show is when we zoom into these videos and move through them side by side, we can start to see some of the differences in the way the footage is actually captured. The log video, the normal video here on the left hand side has a little bit more visible noise in it. It's much more contrasty. I think it's been quite heavily sharpened, and I think there's been a bit of noise reduction gone into it. So if I step through this video frame by frame, we can see that the video on the right seems softer. It's got slightly more washed out colors. When we do the contrast test, I'm going to show that it's less contrasty, but it also shows a little bit less haloing. So as we look at these sort of things, these bars, you can see that they're much softer, and if I go up to the ceiling we can see a lot of haloing introduced by over sharpening here on the left hand side, but little or no over sharpening on the right. Now that's because it is a much softer image. Fundamentally in the camera, I think the camera is capturing the same thing. It's just that what we're getting when we capture log video is a more unprocessed video. And that is what I want. I think unprocessed video from phones is really useful because it means we can do more with it in the edit without having to try to take off the highly processed look that comes with default video. But as I step through this, hopefully this is looking like a fairly common pattern. We're seeing a little bit more over sharpening on the left, softness on the right. But let's have a look at some colors. Now for colors, I thought it'd be good to compare the two videos side by side. So I'm going to drop these two onto the timeline again. Again, for this video, I'm going to go into color and I'm going to select the LUT to apply. I'm putting everything to Rec 709, although I've done that wrong because I've actually applied that to the wrong video. So let me just work through these. It's this one, which is currently the log video, LUT 709. Great, and that looks pretty sensible. So now back on our timeline, not much has changed. This was our comparison left to right, and now this is our comparison all of one video followed by all of the next video. Now it also means that flicking between these two, I can show a fairly similar looking scene shot with the two settings, and it's quite nice to compare and contrast the two. What I like about this is that I can also drop this into the color view and flick between the two, and we can see what's going on in the color spectrum. The process video is very contrasty. It's been stretched to fit the gamut, and if I flick backwards and forwards between that and the unprocessed video, you can see the unprocessed video is much less contrasty, and that's because it's not been stretched. If I increase the contrast on it, it starts looking a lot like the other one, because what we're essentially doing is stretching it, and that's the operation that I think Samsung are doing in camera. I'm just going to put that back to its default setting so we can look at it unprocessed. But what's nice about this is that if I take video from another camera, say Sony or Panasonic, what I'm more likely to get is a less processed view, and that means that if I'm matching shots between a mobile phone and DSLR or mirrorless camera, then it's going to be easier for me to match them if I'm taking video that's largely unprocessed. Okay, so I've adjusted my screen a little bit now so that I've got a bigger view of the video in the center. If I just play this through, that's the processed video. That is the less processed, perhaps even unprocessed log video, and we've seen that the contrast is a big feature of that. I've talked a little bit about the grading, but the last thing I wanted to do was just show some features of this. So if you look in the center of the image here, as I flick between the two, you can see the color difference on these reds and greens. The processed video looks a little bit exaggerated, the unprocessed video less so. These I think are more natural. Looking at this car in the background, that is a very contrasty car in the processed video. Obviously less contrasty in the unprocessed video. A lot of this is personal preference, but it depends a lot on the kind of project you're doing and how you want to use it. Okay, so that's it for today. Just wanted to share this little quick view of log video from a Samsung S24 as a result of the latest One UI update. And so best of luck with your projects.